Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Fort Riley Garrison Commander and today's Senior Reviewing Officer, COL Andrew Cole Jr., welcome to the change of responsibility for the United States Army Garrison, Fort Riley, Kansas. Today's ceremony is a unique event that affects not only the lineage and honors of the organization, but also the loyalty and unity of its soldiers and civilians, as Command Sergeant Major Jason Schmidt relinquishes his responsibilities as the Fort Riley Garrison Command Sergeant Major to Command Sergeant Major James L. Collins. Today we are honored to have in attendance several distinguished guests. On behalf of Colonel Cole and Sergeant Major Schmidt, we would like to thank them for their participation today and their ongoing contributions to our Army and the surrounding communities. With us today are Major General Wayne W. Grigsby Jr., Commanding General, 1st Infantry Division in Fort Riley, Command Sergeant Major Joseph C. Cornelison, Command Sergeant Major, 1st Infantry Division in Fort Riley, Brigadier General John Kolashevsky, Deputy Commanding General for Maneuver, Brigadier General Patrick D. Frank, Deputy Commanding General for Support, and Command Sergeant Major Melissa A. Judkins, Command Sergeant Major, Installation Management Command, Central Region. We would also like to extend a welcome to all distinguished troopers and distinguished members of the garrison, and to the members of our garrison workforce who have joined us for today's event. At this time, Specialist Whitney Ruffin of Headquarters and Headquarters Company, United States Army Garrison, is presenting a bouquet of red roses to Mrs. Schmidt. Their two daughters, Kenley and Kenna, are also receiving a single red rose. The roses are in full bloom, which symbolize our love and respect for her devotion and loyal support of the soldiers and their families of the United States Army Garrison for the last 2 years. At this time, Private First Class Clarissa Nazario of Headquarters and Headquarters Company, United States Army Garrison, is presenting a bouquet of yellow roses to Mrs. Collins. Their daughter Alexis is also receiving a single yellow rose. The roses are in anticipation of her dedication during her husband's countless hours of duty to the officers, non-commissioned officers, soldiers, families, and civilians of the United States Army Garrison, Fort Riley. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the invocation given by Installation Chaplain, Chaplain Keith Kroom, and remain standing for the arrival of the official party and playing of our national anthem by the 1st Infantry Division Army Band under the direction of Sergeant First Class William Knight.
Please pray with me. Our Father, you have not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And Lord, we're grateful for your presence in our lives and the leaders that you've ordained for this community. Guide the Schmidts as they follow your path, and bless the Collins as they become the newest members of this family here at Fort Riley. And so, Father, prepare our minds for action, make ready our spirits, and may we fix our hope on you. First, in the name of Christ, I pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The history of the Sergeant Major extends back to the earliest days of the Army of the United States, but the role that we currently associate with the Sergeant Major of today is relatively young. Only through continued refinement of the position by forward-thinking leaders, commanders, and non-commissioned officers has the rank of Sergeant Major been elevated to its prestigious position. Rudyard Kipling described the Army non-commissioned officer as the backbone of the Army, and since the origins of the United States Army, the Sergeant Major has been recognized as the head of the non-commissioned officers. The long history of the Sergeant Major can be traced back to the 15th century. Some may argue that the early French and English Sergeant Major was the predecessor to the present-day Chief of Staff, but the duties were very similar to the Sergeant Major of today, specifically supervision of the regiment's non-commissioned officers. In 1591, Giles Clayton wrote, "A sergeant major ought to be a man of great courage, for that his office is always to be in the face of the enemy." Robert Barrett, a professional soldier in several armies, made mention of the sergeant major in 1598. The earliest mention of the sergeant major rank in the fledgling United States Army was soon after assuming command of the Continental Army in 1775. General George Washington and his staff standardized the table of organization for the infantry regiment, patterning it after the British Army. They included the position of sergeant major to each regiment or battalion headquarters, along with a non-commissioned officer element. In 1778, General Washington appointed Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben as the second Inspector General of the Continental Army. Von Steuben attempted to improve the tactics, regulations, and discipline of the Continental Army. Through his knowledge of Prussian Army regulations, he set out to make Washington's army capable of meeting British regulars on the battlefield. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, United States Army Garrison, Fort Riley, Colonel Andrew Cole Jr.
All right. Good morning and welcome, distinguished guests, previously recognized. On behalf of Mr. Thomas Schoenbeck, the Region Director of Installation and Management Command's Central Region, thank you for joining us for this ceremony this morning. Before I begin my remarks this morning, I'd first like to recognize and thank the 1st Infantry Division and Fort Riley Band for once again lending that special touch and flavor to our gathering. Please join me in a round of applause. I did recognize that Game of Thrones. All right. This morning I have the pleasure to recognize some of the achievements of Command Sergeant Major Jason Schmidt, our outgoing Garrison Command Sergeants Major. While I could stand here for a better part of the morning and recounting the efforts of this fine NCO, I will strive to stick to the highlights. As I understand, young Kenna sees me as the barrier between her and some tasty cake. So I will be brief. She gave me the evil eye. During this watch, Command Sergeant Major Schmidt has taken Fort Riley to ever-increasing levels, placing his mark on our installation, which we know makes it the best place to live, the best place to train, deploy from, and come home to. His efforts in working with our tenant organizations, off-post, local, and regional partners, as well as with the 1st Infantry Division leaders, has resulted in enhanced programs and mission readiness that highlights not only the division, but the Corps as well. For example, as I previously mentioned, Sergeant Major Schmidt developed a concept in which designated drivers are able to assist our soldiers in returning themselves and their cars from off-post when they have had too much to drink. This was not an easy task, as it required the formation and establishment of a private organization to make it work. And that is exactly what it does today. His efforts provide a backstop for soldiers in the event that they are caught in a situation, and it ensures their safety. As Fort Riley's Unified School District 475 board representative, Command Sergeant Major Schmidt has diligently and faithfully represented the perspectives, the concerns, and the interests of our military children. His actions in supporting both Fort Riley and the USD make it clear and apparent why our schools have netted the Blue Ribbon Award of Excellence and national level recognition. A soldier of impeccable military bearing, Command Sergeant Major Schmidt is the epitome of be, know, and do. and leads always from the front. When we sustained recently a significant power outage in one of our housing areas, resulting in numerous homes without light or air conditioning, Sergeant Major Schmidt promptly led the charge in going to the location of the outage, coordinating with our housing partner Corvius, DFMWR, and our Department of Emergency Services to establish a location where our families, particularly those with young infants, could displace to and seek comfort while repairs were underway. In another example, when our soldiers find themselves in a difficult monetary predicament, it's Sergeant Major Schmidt who works diligently as a liaison between unit command teams and Army emergency relief and ensures the Army does its portion in being a part of the solution to help that family get back on its feet. So the soldier can soldier on and continue to be brave, responsible, and on point for our nation. Again, I could go on and on this morning, but let me segue. As we all know, in order for Command Sergeant Major Schmidt to do these great things throughout the day and into the wee hours of the night, someone must attend to the house. Someone must make sure that things are straight at home to allow him to commit his full efforts and capacities to these often complex problems. That someone is Mrs. Kelly Schmidt. Whether it being baking, decorating, inspiring others in our community, or their children at home, Command Sergeant Major Schmidt would not have been able to do what he's done without Kelly's support at home. Kelly, again, thank you for what you've done in our community, both on and off post. Thank you for raising and mentoring two beautiful children in Kenley and Kenna, and thank you for doing this while still being engaged at our schools and bringing joy, laughter, and learning to our children. Our lives are much better for having you in them, and on behalf of Charlotte, Christina, we will miss your born-in-a-barn humor, candor, and friendship. As we say farewell to Team Schmidt, we are fortunate and blessed to have an opportunity to welcome Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. James Collins to the Central Flint Hills region. Command Sergeant Major Collins and his wife, Kendra, have three children, Alexis, who's here this morning, Draven, and Colton. They are joined by Alexis, as we mentioned, and we are excited to have them on board. Welcome. Command Sergeant Major Collins has a vast, broad background in light infantry units, to include the 10th Mountain, 101st, as well as the 75th Ranger Regiment, and he has done some 1st Division time when attached to our 3rd Brigade while they were deployed in Afghanistan. As a former OC at Fort Polk, we know he knows what right looks like and fully expect him to transition promptly into our garrison leadership team. Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. Collins, I will end as I say welcome to the best place to live, train, deploy, and come home to. You will find that Central Flint Hills is indeed a great place to serve, work, and be a part of. Thanks again to everyone for attending this morning's service. Duty first, service always.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing Garrison Command Sergeant Major Jason Schmidt.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Schmidt, and I'm a Big Red One supporter. Major General Grigsby, Sergeant Major Corneliuson, Brigadier General Kolashevsky, Brigadier General Franks, Sergeant Major Judkins, USAG Fort Riley civilians, community partners, and members, thank you for attending today's ceremony. I appreciate everyone taking the time to share and participate in the change of responsibility with myself and Sergeant Major Collins this morning. I want to start off this morning by thanking a few folks, and I apologize in advance if I have missed anybody. There's a long list of individuals who have carried me on their back, and an even longer list of those who have placed trust in me up to this point in my career. I want to start off by thanking the 1st Infantry Band. Again, they always add a touch of class to division and installation ceremonies, so please join me in a round of applause. To Mr. Schoenbeck and Sergeant Major Judkins, I appreciate all the leadership and help you've shown Fort Riley over the years as you helped us sort through some of the complicated issues associated with running a large installation. To Major General Grigsby and Sergeant Major Corneliuson, I appreciate all the support, guidance, and mentorship the two of you have shown me, and I look forward to continuing our relationship, and I know you'll lead this division into greater things in the future. Additionally, you have two very talented ADC M&Ss that'll help you with that endeavor on your next deployment. To Colonel Cole, it's been my pleasure to be your Command Sergeant Major during our tenure here. You are an outstanding officer. You're a great citizen. You're an honorable person, and you make the daily grind of garrison work enjoyable. Additionally, your patience level is appreciated as you're now on your 3rd Sergeant Major, so that's a talented feat to train 3 of us. So additionally, it's been my honor to call you a friend too, not only just boss, so that's probably the best title that I can add to that. To 2 outstanding Deputy Garrison Commanders, we have Ms. Linda Hoffner and Tim Livesey. We have been blessed as a garrison workforce to have you leading our civilian workforce in the garrison, so hats off, and I've personally taken a lot away from our endeavors. To our 2 XOs, Ms. Melissa Kinney and Joe Glassnat, I watch with wide eyes as you guys interact daily with division and synchronize our efforts in support of them, so good job, and you're very talented, so we're blessed to have you. And then I wanted to send a special thank you out to the real brains, our 2 assistants, Miss Tiffany Leash, who's not here, and Miss Tara Pierce. Over the past couple years, you 2 have kept me and the boss straight and juggled our calendars to make sure we hit everything that we needed to hit. To the 3 wise grays beards out there, Jim Champagne, Dick Young, and Rick Herron, though you guys have hung up your boots long ago, you still continue to mentor the next generation of Sergeant Majors that come in, so that's truly appreciated, and I've taken a lot and personally grew as a non-commissioned officer from your experience. So I thank the 3 of you and many others that are out there that helped me through the process as well. To all the directors and partner units of USAG, I appreciate all the support that you have provided me throughout the tenure here. To the brigade command teams, I truly appreciate the interaction and the support that we had together as we worked to provide some support to your commands. To the 97th MP Battalion, your organization does a fantastic, and I mean fantastic, job of providing law enforcement services to the installation. It's a pretty hard feat to juggle having an organic brigade somewhere else giving you direction, being a tenant unit, providing law enforcement, and then meeting all the requirements of that, so hats off to you. To the community, I've never seen a more synergistic partnership between an Army installation and its surrounding cities. Junction City, Manhattan, and the greater Flint Hills region have repeatedly, and I mean repeatedly, demonstrated their support to the soldiers of the installation. Your kindness and support are too numerous to list, but I appreciate it and I've viewed it many times. So for that, I thank you all. To the USD 475 School Board, teachers, and administration, it's been my privilege to watch your tireless efforts as you educated and nurtured our children over the past couple of years. So that is one of the selfless and thankless jobs you can do, and my hat's off to you as you provide that daily. To my daughters, Kenley and Kenna, the pair of you had added additional purpose and structure and meaning to my life. Much like your mom, I owe half of any successful endeavor I've accomplished to the 2 of you. To my wife, Kelly, your support of my career can never be repaid enough. Without you by my side, I would simply be a man with good intentions. So with your love and support, I continually strive to be a good man, so I thank you for that. To the garrison workforce, by and large, this is the shout out is to you. 2 years ago, when I was informed I'd be the garrison commander for Fort Riley, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Little did I know that I would stand here today with the knowledge that I have just had the most rewarding and pleasurable brooding assignment possible for a soldier. The position was very different where I had traditionally traversed in my Army career, and the work was entirely unfamiliar. I had no idea what a common level of support was, and up until this point in my career, I have found myself as a consumer of services. My time here has taught me a newfound respect for the civilian workforce that keeps and works tirelessly to support soldiers Army-wide. The 14 directorates and 12 partner organizations, which deliver 58 common levels of support and 286 corresponding service and support packages, execute this arduous task with the efficiency of an orchestra conductor. Additionally, you've given me a graduate level education on what it takes to run an installation. So I thank you for that. And you went about this with the patience of a set of new parents, which is a testament to your professionalism and dedication. In closing today, I've come to realize the sage wisdom that the MCOM Sergeant Major Command Sergeant Major Hartless beats into all Garrison Sergeant Major dailies as he repeatedly tells us there is no ordinary day in MCOM. It has truly been my pleasure to be the keeper of the colors for United States Army Garrison Fort Riley. My pride in being your Command Sergeant Major has been enjoyable because of your accomplishments in taking care of soldiers. I owe you a debt of gratitude. Army strong, duty first, and service always.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Garrison Command Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major James L. Collins.
Good morning. I am Command Sergeant Major Collins, and I am a Big Red 1 supporter. Major General Grigsby, Command Sergeant Major Cornelison, Brigadier General Kolocheski, Brigadier General Frank, Sergeant Major Judkins, and other distinguished guests, thank you for being here today. I spent the last 2 weeks meeting all the directorates and the partners in the community and learning all the services that the Garrison provides, and let me tell you, I learned a lot. It's a pretty eye-opening to see all the that the Garrison handles on a daily basis, so it's impressive. I also met a lot of hardworking people, and I look forward to working with each of you in the coming weeks. The Garrison has a very good team, and everyone I've met is passionate about what they do. And I'm excited to be a part of that and look forward to the Garrison's challenges. I want to thank Command Sergeant Major Schmidt for the time he spent to give me all the knowledge he could in the last 2 weeks. He went out of his way to make sure I was set up for success when I got here. You know, he even moved out of his house early so me and Kendra could move right into it when we got here on January 16th. He left me in a good position to carry on the partnerships in the local community, so Sergeant Major Schmidt, I want to thank you for all that hard work you did for me. I appreciate it, thanks. To my family, Kendra and Lexi, thanks for following me around the Army for the last 13 years. I know it hasn't been easy, and I appreciate all the sacrifices, the personal sacrifices you guys have made, you know, getting uprooted, you know, 5-6 times in the last 10 years, and moving to places like Fort Polk and, you know, for 5 years, and then to Fort Hood. So I think we're in a good place now, and I love all of you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing and singing of the Big Red 1 song and the Army song. The words are printed inside your programs.
Sir, this concludes the ceremony. Duty first. Service always.
Ladies and gentlemen, a receiving line will be formed in the adjacent room for those who wish to bid farewell to Command Sergeant Major Schmidt and his family. Command Sergeant Major Collins and his family will remain up front. Please come forward to welcome the Collins family to the team. This concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for attending. Have a great day.